Are you looking for some of the best fairs in Massachusetts? Look no further. Hey everyone, my name is Matt Swierk and I'm a local real estate expert right here in the state of Massachusetts with the Legacy Star team powered by Keller Williams Realty. Now, if this is the first time you've been to our channel, welcome. Everyone always asks, what's it all about? Well, we talk everything about Massachusetts. It's places to go, people to see, things to do. Today we're talking about some of the best fairs, and we're sneaking in one from Maine too. We're pretty close to New England. Well, we're in New England, so we're pretty close to all the other states. But you have lots of questions about Massachusetts. We have lots of answers. Reach out to us any way possible. We have so many people reaching out, so we'll get back to you as quick as we can. We appreciate the support. Definitely want us to hit the subscribe button and click the little bell so that way every time we make a new video. So the one thing you always have to remember when it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back. All right, so today we're talking about some of the best fairs that we have in Massachusetts. And like I said, we're sneaking one in for Maine as well. Massachusetts is very close to all the other states in New England. So we absolutely love it here because we get the best of so many worlds in such a short or such a small distance to all these other great states. So this is a fun video for us because, you know, the fall is kind of fair season here in Massachusetts. We're going to talk about a couple that I've been to. There's one that I've never been to before. That's the one in Maine. So I'll do my best to give you as much research as I can or details on that one. But the first one we're going to bring up is this Renaissance Fair down in Carver, Massachusetts. Now, this is only open during the weekends. It's called the King Richard's Fair. Now, I went there as a little kid. I was telling Tyler, I'm like, I'm looking down in my office. I'm like, I have pictures from when I was there as a little kid. And I always remember that, you know, they sold these giant, massive turkey legs. You know, it's a kind of a different type of festival, you know, because it's more, it's around the Renaissance era with, you know, kings and knights and all these things. But this thing has been going on for about 41 years, so it's pretty popular. And there's so many different things. This is definitely an outside the box, you know, kind of activity that you would go to. You know, the first day I was researching was, you know, kind of the frequently asked questions about the fair. And of course, one of them popped up of, you know, like, can you rent costumes? Because everyone's all dressed up. And it's pretty interesting because I went through, so you can rent a costume. The prices vary. You can check it out if you want to get, you know, you can bring your own costume or you can rent one when you're there. The first one, this is a PG channel and this is PG, but I'm not going to say this, but you can rent a lady's costume, a rogue costume, a knight, a pirate, a peasant, a princess, or a prince. Now, there's only one King Richard, so no, you cannot rent a king's costume because we already have the king. So, but you can be a prince or a princess if you want to. There's all kinds of activities. They have about 18 different rides and different things you can do as far as games are concerned. And they're pretty cool because it's all based around that era. So there's axe throwing, knife throwing. There is this thing called the Giant Striker. There's an archer's field, something called Dastardly Darts. There's a Crusader's Crossbow. There's a cannon thing. There's a Jacob's Ladder, King of the Log, and all kinds of games for the little ones as well. So there's always something to do. They also have a ceremony. You can renew your vows, right? So if you want to renew your vows with the king, you can do that. They have a cool thing with Game of Thrones. They're doing a weekend around that where they're having a costume parade and you can dress up for the GOT, Game of Thrones. There's also a Harry Potter weekend where they're doing a parade. You get to pick out your, you know, which hat, the sorting of the hats, so you know what is it called? Which house you belong to. So that's something that's pretty cool, you know, and there's going to be a big parade there as well. So this is something, you know, and there's all kinds of games, all kinds of, like I said, there's crafts, there's food, really, really a fun event. So if you're looking for something different as far as a fair is concerned, go check out the King Richard's Fair. The Topsfield Fair, that's a big one here. What I want to say, let me back up real quick. The King Richard's Fair runs from September 3rd all the way until October 23rd. So plenty of time to be able to still see that. Although you might miss the cleavage contest depending on when this video gets published. Okay, anyway, so the Topsfield Fair in Topsfield, Massachusetts. This has not started yet. This runs September 30th through October 10th. Now, this actually started in 1818, and I have my notes right here. I feel like a news reporter. Most of the time I don't have paper in my hands, but when I do, I feel like, hot off the presses, here we go. So this was actually, Topsfield Fair has been branded as America's oldest and finest agricultural fair, right? It runs every fall, like I said, since 1818. And this is your typical fair that has all kinds, fairs are going to have the same type of thing as far as the carnival rides and the food and some of the exhibits. But what's cool about this is they have a hot dog eating contest. They have this thing called Dock Dogs, right? And Dock Dogs is this competition where there's like aerials where they throw frisbees up and the dogs jump. And yes, Dock Dogs, it's in water. They have this big pool they bring in. So they have all these like stunts that the dogs do. They have the all New England pumpkin weighing contest. They had a couple of years ago, someone broke the record by having a 1-ton pumpkin. So think about growing something like that. That's a lot of time and energy. They also have, they have parades. They have horse pulls. Horse pulls, you have a horse pulling some big thing, and how far can they pull it? So that's a little bit different, but everyone gets excited about different things. They have a demolition derby. That's actually a really cool thing. When I was in college, our fraternity put a car into a demolition derby, and what a fun event that was. But the Topsfield Fair, that's definitely one of the as they're branded, one of the oldest running agricultural fairs in the country. So the next one we're going to go to, this is a big one. This is a near and dear to my heart. We were going to this fair probably almost every single summer. This is the Big E out in Springfield, Massachusetts. The Big E runs from September 16th through October 2nd. The Big E was the Eastern States Exposition, right? And this is billed as New England's greatest state fair. It's the largest agricultural event on the Eastern Seaboard. It's the 5th largest fair in the nation. My dad and his family relocated to Minnesota years and years ago, and I was able to go to the Minnesota State Fair. That was a cool one. Everything was on a stick. So I had spaghetti and meatballs on a stick. Like, that was an interesting experience, but really, really unhealthy. When you think about fairs, you think about rides, you think about different agricultural things, and I just think about clogged arteries. It is what it is. A lot of fried stuff. But the Big E, I love the Big E. The Big E is so cool because it really encompasses so many different things. So you have all the different agricultural competitions as far as the growing plants. They have a flower exhibit. They have all the competition for the animals. I thought it was really interesting. One year we watched the pig competition, and it was really interesting because the guy, I'll never forget this. He was a younger kid. He was controlling his pig, and he had this stick. They kind of walk him around to show the pigs. Are they going to eat them? I'm not sure. But anyway, so he was walking around, and it was really interesting because he had the pig under complete control with this stick. And as he walked around the arena, he just had this like very stern face, had direct eye contact with the judges. He'd go from one judge to the next judge to the next judge. But this kid, he was in tune with showing his pig and being like, the rules of pigging, I'll call it. He did not win, but he did a great job, and he had a great pig. All right. Anyway, so because of the all the different agriculture, they have butter sculptures, which are really interesting, really, really beautiful. They have a circus that is there all the time. That's part of admission. They have a big midway with all kinds of games and all kinds of rides. Some pretty hair-raising things. Again, near and dear to my heart because that's when my kids got on their first rides was at the Big E. I think it was the Bumblebee ride was the first one they were on, and they were terrified. It was that thing that goes up and down really slow, but that was a really fun experience. They have a car show. They show you how to shear sheep. So if you have sheep laying around, they need to be cut. They'll show you how to shear the sheep. They have horse shows. There's a parade that runs through. They usually do like a Mardi Gras theme, which is really fun, throwing beads everywhere. They also have some pretty substantial entertainment coming this year. So the Dropkick Murphys, which is I don't know how you describe them, but they're a local band near and dear to our hearts. You hear the music played at a lot of the sporting arenas here. So they're going to be playing. Nelly the rapper is coming. Sublime is going to be there. Leonard Skinner is going to be there. All kinds of crafts. One of the things I think is so cool with the Big E is they have this big building called the Better Living Center, right? And the Better Living Center, in my mind, it's like as seen on TV on steroids, right? So they have, there's one area, like I'm thinking like the ShamWow, but there's one area where, there's all these pots and pans that they do, and of course, if you buy it today, you get a great deal. I'm going to tell you something, and I hope the Big E people don't get mad when I say this. The best time to go is like the last couple days, because they bring all their supplies in and they don't want to bring it back, so they're looking to get rid of it. So the Better Living, I'm thinking about things that we bought in the past, like big, 1 gallon things of spices. Like I need a gallon of allspice. I need a gallon of jerk seasoning, and you can get really good deals towards the end of the fair. So as you can tell from my excitement, the Big E, I love it. Really, really awesome fair. All right, now that was just a handful of the bigger fairs that we have in Massachusetts. Some of them have already passed. Things move fast and furious here. It was interesting because when I started pulling this video together, Tyler was like, "How's it going, Matt?" And I said, "Tyler, I have about 5 hours of video on this." And he was like, "No one's going to watch this." And this one, if you've made it to the end, we appreciate it. I know there's a lot of information there, a lot of information about the same type of stuff, but it was fun making this one. So, if you have questions about different events that happen here, different traditions we have, if you're looking to relocate to the area, you want to buy something, you want to rent something, definitely reach out to us. We'll get back to you as quick as we can. We really appreciate the support. You have a lot of questions. We have a lot of answers. Get in touch with us any way you feel appropriate. The one thing you got to remember when it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back.